What's good, y'all? It's your boy Danza, just one of the many faces of the machine known as the Danza Project. Please do me a favor if you rock with us. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn those notifications on. We appreciate you. Salute.
Tell them stop playing with my name, little bitch. I've been in the coffee hoes getting rich. Ride around with them soldiers and you know they never miss. No, they never miss. No, they never miss. Tell them stop playing with my name, little bitch. I've been in the cut just minding my own business. If they want a problem, then I'm down for that.
I always got to do it, you know what I'm saying? What's good? It's your boy Danza.
And your boy Kato.
And we are live on the Danza Project with a legend. And I know that for you, not only can I call you a legend, but this is the legend in his final round.
Last
Dustin
one, man, the last dance.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for allowing us the opportunity to sit down with you. How does it feel to finally be here?
At the last one?
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to say really, bro, because I've been fighting since I was 17 years old. And I still have such a big fight ahead of me in New Orleans. It doesn't feel real yet. I think post-fight, when the smoke clears after all the craziness of fight week and another training camp's behind me, I think then it'll probably really settle in and I'll go through waves of emotions. But right now it's just work. So it doesn't feel like it yet,
When you think about retirement, Father Time, right, usually is the one that people are thinking of, or you don't have the hunger anymore. I'm watching you train. The hunger's clearly still there. Mm-hmm. Family. What is the main reason that you're hanging it up?
I guess there's a lot of reasons, bro. First of all, this ain't good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have 50-something fights. This isn't good for you. I'm getting older. I'm 36 now. Like you said, Father Time is undefeated. I think I have a few good years left, but it's like I've done so much and I've had so many title shots. I don't know if I have the grit of what it takes to climb that mountain again to get to another title shot. I've climbed so many for the undisputed title. Obviously, me and Max in July are fighting for the BMF belt. So that's a title I'd love to have, in my living room.
Oh yeah.
And under my belt, on my waist. But
I wish that belt was around a little bit sooner for you, to be honest.
The BMF?
Yeah, man. You've had some brawls.
Yeah, I've had some crazy
BMF fights.
I've had some crazy ones, man, for sure. And a lot of those, there's a reason it's just time. My daughter's 8 years old. My wife's pregnant. I have successful businesses outside of fighting. And I've given this sport a lot of my life, and I think it's just time. Everything comes to an end. And I don't want to be the guy who sticks around too long. You see a lot in boxing, you see a lot of mixed martial arts guys stick around to try to get another payday, to try to stay in the headlines just because that limelight, they're addicted to it. That's not me. I don't want to squeeze every drop out of this game. I want to respect it, honor it, and try to do it the right way. At 36, I'm not getting more athletic. I'm not getting faster. You can teach an old dog new tricks, but it's like, what am I fighting for? For a paycheck? Mm-hmm. If it's not for the belt, I don't, I want it to be for more than a paycheck. I'm good. My family's good. I put us in a really good position. And I want to come out with my faculties. I want to come out of this thing with a whole nother life to live post-fighting. Fighting is just something I do. So that's just taking all those things, thinking about them and sitting back with my wife. It's just time, I think.
Yeah. Now, how do you approach a fight like this? Is it calm and focused, or is it hyped and celebratory, like one last hurrah, let's go out with a bang?
It's a bit of both. It's like I'm excited to be doing this again, headlining another pay-per-view. That's a big deal. As a kid, when I first started fighting, it was a dream to just be in the UFC, even if it was on the undercard, much less headline a fight in my home state of Louisiana, pay-per-view against another legend, multiple-time champion Max Holloway. It's a big fight. It's a big deal to me. And I want to go out on top. Like, I'm walking away, headlining a pay-per-view, fighting for a belt. I'm not walking away on a few defeats, trying to get another paycheck. I'm walking away on top, and I think that's, the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
So talk to us about Louisiana. You're going back home. I know that you had that moment back in your career where Cormier was speaking about, getting that win in Lafayette, and the significance of the Lafayette, right? But now you're out in Louisiana,
New Orleans.
You're going home.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of friends, family who don't have the means to travel the world and watch me fight. This is a short drive from Lafayette to go to New Orleans. to the Smoothie King, where the Pelicans play. You know, it's a big deal to be in Louisiana. And the UFC hasn't been in Louisiana since 2015, so it's been 10 years. I think it was June of 2015 was the last time UFC has been to the state of Louisiana. So
Did they move that around for you?
yeah, which was crazy because I didn't think they were going to entertain it. When I brought it to their attention, like, hey, this is going to be my last one. Can we do it in Louisiana? The way the machine of the UFC works, they have things planned out and scheduled out years in advance. Like they know what states they're going to, what countries they're going to. Yeah, it's a machine. So to get the state of Louisiana on board after we just hosted the Super Bowl, just a lot of moving parts with New Orleans and Louisiana to do the things that the UFC needed them to do, and for the UFC to do the things Louisiana needed them to do to make everybody happy, to make this work, and it all came together. And I thank the UFC, Hunter, Dana for making that happen. You know, it's a dream come true as a kid. Growing up, where I picked up my first pair of boxing gloves, or first pair of MMA gloves, was in the state of Louisiana, and I'm going to lay my gloves down where it all started. It's something special to me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like to have that appreciation from a sport. You know, we know in sports it's always, you know, getting rid of players and trading to look better, and we need this and we need that.
Especially in what I do. This is the hurt business.
Yeah.
These stories don't end well for a lot of guys, you know.
Yeah,
guys
for them to just say, you know what, let's do it. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. That had to make you make it all feel surreal.
Yeah, it felt special when they called me and said this is close to happening. You know, I'm just very grateful for the position I'm in and to bring the UFC. I'm the reason the UFC is going back to Louisiana, so like that, I carry that with pride.
Hell yeah.
For how long did you know this was going to be the last one?
After I lost my last fight in Newark, I had got another shot at the undisputed title at lightweight. I lost that one in the 5th round.
Yeah.
It was a grueling fight. You know, I got busted up in the fight. He got busted up. It was just another war. And all the damage over the years, all the climbs up the mountain to try to get that belt, you know, in the moment, I thought that was the last one. Like after the bell rang, after, you know, the fight was over, I said, you know, this might be it. I had my last crack at the throne. And then I got back home, thought about it, you know, feelings and all the crazy stuff in the heat of the moment kind of went away, reflected a little bit, and I was like, you know what, let's do this one more time. Let's do it right. I've never lost 2 fights in a row in my entire career.
That's impressive.
And I think I have 53 fights. I've never lost 2 in a row. So I have to finish my career on a win.
Let's go.
To keep that stat up. Every time I get knocked down, I get back up, get better, learn lessons, try to improve. Back to the drawing board. Stay a student in this game, and I think that's the story of my career. So to go back, come to my home state, home crowd, and get my hand raised one more time under those lights, man, it's just something I really want.
Now you have Max Holloway in front of you. One of the questions, you know, I shop around damn near. I talk to everybody who's super fans, and one of the questions my buddy Joe asked me, he said, with Justin Gaethje as a potential fight too, would you, like, is it the Max, like everything you wanted, or would you like to finish the trilogy with that as well?
That's a good question, because originally when I told him I wanted to retire, I wanted to fight Justin, because we 1-1. I didn't want to end my career being 1-1, leaving that kind of open. I wanted a rubber match. I wanted somebody to be up on somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to get my get back on him.
Yeah.
I knocked him out. He knocked me out. We're 1-1. We got to do it again. But just whenever this fight started coming together, my retirement plans, he was booked to fight Dan Hooker, which didn't happen. Dan broke his hand. He ended up fighting Rafael Fiziev. And he beat Fiziev, so now he's right there knocking on the title shot, on the door of a title shot. But I wanted to fight Justin, and then I saw it. What's crazy is this never crossed my mind. In my the competitor edge, I was like, I gotta get it back. Mm-hmm. Then I saw him do an interview, and he said, you know what? If Dustin's okay with it being 1-1, I'm okay with it. Let's shake hands. You know, our families don't deserve us to get in another head-on collision.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it that way. I was like, you know what? If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it.
When you put it like that,
like somebody's gonna get hurt, and we're both not young in the game. We both have a lot of wars under our belt. And I said legends only. And when they offered me Max,
Facts.
You know, it's an honor to fight him.
I know Gaethje's rooting for you too. So,
well, Gaethje and Max fought at UFC 300. Max got the best of him, you know. But in this game, at that level, under those lights, with guys who are as dangerous as Max and as dangerous as Justin, it can be anybody's night, any given night.
Yeah,
you know, it's like a roll of the dice. No matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you sacrifice, anything can happen. And but that's what makes us love this sport.
You know, one of my favorite moments with you was with that Conor McGregor fight. You know,
Fought him 3 times.
Yeah, when he breaks his leg and he's trying to talk all that shit, and you just look over, I'm like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the greatest moments to see, because you still kept it 100 throughout the entire thing. It's like, hey, look, you know, it is what it is, you know. And just seeing all the commentary and all the people that just like, you know, earlier I was listening to Khabib talk about you and say, you know, if he fights him 100 times and he's still winning 100 times right now, he's hungry, and Poirier's just still going to go out there and whoop him. I don't care about that excuse for the leg.
I'd like to say the same thing, but like I was just saying, anything could happen. Yeah. I would like to think 10 out of 10 times I beat him, but maybe it's 8, maybe it's 9. You know, I don't think he's a great person, but he's a great athlete, and he can fight. He has God-given power, timing. He has a lot of things that aren't taught, that you're just born with. Some guys have it, and some guys don't. Conor has it. You know, his character might not have held him to the spot that his natural gifts got him to, just because of things he's done and the person he is. But no doubt about it, he's special. And I think on any night he can land that left hand and knock out anybody. You know, he's a dangerous fighter. But he beat me in 2014, and I had to wait 6 or 7 years to get my revenge.
Yeah.
So our second fight in Abu Dhabi, I knocked him out, got my revenge.
Got it.
Then we had an immediate rematch, and his leg broke.
Yeah.
Beat him again. So it's like, you know, that's just my journey. I'm proud of it all. Yeah. It's just my journey.
Ain't no 1-1 there.
Nah, there's no 1-1 there. And he hasn't fought since.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that. I think it's safe to say you ended his career.
But I don't want to.
It's safe to say.
That's not a belt you want.
You don't got to say it. I'll say it for you. But that was the end of it. Now, what I love to do with our viewers is to take everybody back. Now we're talking about Lafayette, Louisiana, coming up there in school. I believe you went to school with Cormier out there?
Same school. He's older than me, yeah.
Okay. What was it like coming up in that school?
My wife actually graduated from that school, from Northside High. I didn't graduate. I actually did most of my 9th grade year. Got into some trouble, and then I went to juvenile detention in 9th grade. And when I got out of juvenile detention, I never went back to school. And started working, started fighting, and I just never went back to school. But you know, north side of Lafayette is just hard workers. It's a rough area.
Yeah,
it's a rough area to come up as a kid, and
that's like a predominantly black area, correct?
Yeah.
And then so you're the white boy in the school, you know what I mean? And you know I'm from that, you know what I'm saying? So like they obviously tried with you. Do you credit that to some of the toughness that you have today?
For sure. It's got to be some of the grit I have, man. It has to be. Just being comfortable, like the hat says, being comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know, a lot of my childhood was that. You know, I had to be able to roll with the punches, to say, of day-to-day life, of living on the north side of Lafayette and the ins and outs of that type of stuff. But it also taught me how to hustle, not just in street terms, but in work ethic terms. It taught me how to go out and get stuff, and how to work for stuff, and how to not just out muscle people, but try to outthink them. And you know, I learned a lot of things from my childhood.
Yeah. When did the fighting come into play?
I've been fighting my whole life. You know, since middle school. I've been getting expelled for fighting and stuff like that. You know, and that's not boasting or saying in school or getting street fights, but I'm just never I never went out looking for fights, but I never ran away from them either. Growing up, we used to box in the neighborhood. Then when I was 17, we used to have these parties we used to box at. And it just kept going from there. You know, fighting is always something I was interested in, and I had a connection to for some reason. And then when I turned 18, I just full steam ahead. You know, I started boxing when I was 17, but when I was 18, I just 100% of myself I gave to combat sports.
Mm-hmm. Was there somebody that planted the seed and said, "Hey, man, you should be in the ring"?
I honestly thought so mixed martial arts wasn't my path or my game plan. I wanted to box. I wanted to box.
Wow.
So I went to Raging Cajun gym in Lafayette, boxing gym in Lafayette, Louisiana. Started boxing there, and I ran into some guys who were training their boxing for mixed martial arts, and this was back in the day when like MMA, it was NHB was just getting popular. Right. To the combat sports fans, a lot of it was like a household thing, MMA that much, until Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner fought on The Ultimate Fighter and had that crazy fight on Spike TV, and then MMA really started growing bigger and bigger. But way back in the day, me and my dad used to run VHSs of the early UFCs, Ken Shamrock. My dad was a wrestling fan, so I always knew about it, but I didn't know in my hometown people were training for mixed martial arts. And when I found that, I just never looked back. Never went back to the boxing gym really, and just started kicking. And I never threw a kick in my life. Fighting wasn't kicking, you know.
Yeah,
that was crazy coming from like people didn't throw kicks, you know. But
well, that's the thing about MMA. You have to kind of fill your toolbox with tools, right? So you got to pick up the boxing. Somewhere along that line, you picked up a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So, you know, you got to get all the pieces, get a couple kicks in there too.
That's the story of fighting though. You have a tool bag and you pick up martial arts and you mix them. Back then you mixed them at different gyms because they didn't have, like American Top Team, they didn't have everything under one roof. So I would go to a boxing gym this day. I would go to a jiu-jitsu gym this day. Strength and conditioning this day. Kickboxing this day. It was all different gyms, and we'd come together at a dojo in Lafayette, Louisiana, and we'd beat each other up and try to put everything together. Right. There were no mixed martial arts gyms to say. It was all different gyms, and we try to mix them together. But everything from each gym I put in my tool bag, and so did my other guys training, and we'd all try to share the knowledge and beat each other up.
So where did Thug-Jitsu come in there?
Thug-Jitsu, and I still carry that flag. That's Eve Edwards. Eve Edwards is a pioneer of mixed martial arts, a legend. He's the Thug-Jitsu master. That's a fighting style he kind of curated and made from years of fighting all over the world. He's out in Texas too. He was fighting way before me with no rules, no weight classes, bare knuckle. This is in the pure NHB days. You know, he fought in some early UFCs. He fought in Pride. Just a real veteran. And me and him became really good friends from Tim Crater, my jiu-jitsu coach. And I started carrying that Thug-Jitsu flag.
That's some of the best jiu-jitsu you can get.
Thug-Jitsu. It's the art of the modern day beatdown.
I'm a little familiar. My coach is Wagner Rocha, so he's known for having some thuggish jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. No, Wagner's a beast, man.
Oh man, I love it. Now, adding all these tools, somebody had to sell you those tools. You have a team that you've actually been with for quite some time. You got Crazy Mike. You got who? Phil DeRue. Me and Phil worked for years. And I still message him every now and then. He'll send me like a workout plan here and there. The past couple years, he's kind of gone and built his own thing and kind of done his own thing, but he's still my guy. Yeah, awesome. How does, my point in bringing it, and obviously Daya where we are here today in Boca Boxing, but how does your team feel about the retirement? You know? I don't know. We got to ask them. They know I'm still capable of fighting the best guys in the world. And they've been... It's like you said, for a long time. I think 2012 was the first fight with this group of guys: Mike Brown, Thiago Alves, Daya Davis. 2012, I switched from Lafayette and moved to South Florida to start training with these guys. Right. Just because I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to get around some better fighters. Smart. And just grow as a mixed martial artist. So, but this is like my family, bro. Yeah, these guys are my family. That's amazing. I mean, I'm sure they support you regardless. You know, for sure. It's up to you. It's your choice. Right? Yeah, right. But I'm always just curious to see how the team feels and if they're super supportive or if they're like, "Hey, man, are you sure?" If I told them, "Hey, I'm gonna fight 5 more times," I don't think it would be. They would say, "Hey, it's time. Maybe let's pull it back." They would probably, I'm still capable. That's the thing. I'm still capable, and I want to leave being capable. I don't want to squeeze, like I said earlier, I don't want to squeeze everything out of myself. I have another life to live post-fighting. And Daya Davis is one of the guys who put this in my ear years ago, like, because I was so hard-headed and so head first into fighting, like this was my life and who I was. Mm-hmm. But it's not. This is just something I do. To think about that and put things into perspective, like, makes the decision a lot easier. What's the difference between the Dustin Poirier that we have known to the Dustin Poirier that we see today as a father? What's the main difference? Going on the damage and fighting thing, like without a kid, without really thinking about perspective of raising a kid, and my wife being pregnant right now, my second child on the way, like I would have let this game retire me, like I've seen a lot of guys do. I would have pushed this and I would have, done this until it killed me. But this is just something I do. I have, I want to be there when my daughter gets married one day, when she has kids. I want to be part of their lives and be mentally there for my wife. Present. I want to be present. I want to be in the moment, be where my feet are. Those things, like just growing older and putting things in perspective, like this is a young man's game. Yeah. And I've been doing it a long time. And I just want to do it right. I don't want to stay around too long or be a shell of who I used to be under those lights and people see me like that. Or even though I love this, Yeah. I love it so much I hate it some days.
and it's like a bad relationship, man.
Yeah.
I've loved this for so long.
Toughest relationships.
I've loved this for so long, and it's given me so much, but it's also broke my heart so many times. And I keep coming back. I just keep coming back, coming back. So that relationship I have with fighting, it's tough to really describe and talk about, but it's given me and my family everything I have.
Breaking your heart.
It's taught me so many lessons that I wouldn't have learned unless I was out there in the field bleeding.
Yeah, breaking your heart is one of those things, right? But then you got your wife and breaking her heart, and also your daughter. There's how does it go for her?
She hates me fighting. She's been asking me to retire. She was born into fighting. She was born, I tell this story all the time. Like 3-4 hours after she was born was Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. She was born on a Saturday that Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz were having their rematch. And this is back when UFC wasn't on ESPN. It was like on Fight Pass. You can buy the pay-per-view. I had a laptop in the hospital room. My daughter was a few hours old, and we're watching a pay-per-view, with my wife in the...
Some of the first sounds she
it's normal to her. So she doesn't think it's cool. Even though it's getting popular and people at her school are talking about it and stuff and talking about her dad, she doesn't think it's cool because she doesn't know anything different.
Yeah.
Like up until she was probably 5, 6, she thought everybody's dad fought. That's just what she thought life was.
Yeah, that's interesting. But for her and for your wife, I'd imagine like the moment. Like, tell us how you came to this decision, right? Because it's got to be.
And you guys and fans only see, for the most part, that 25 minutes in the ring.
Facts.
Maybe a post-fight interview. You don't see all that comes along with the day-to-day grind, being away from my family, the bumps and bruises, the surgeries, the ups and downs, the mental ups and downs, the physical ups and downs, all the stuff that comes along with the hustling of...
Insane amount of prep.
Yeah, prep, pressure, being under a magnifying glass, so to say. It's like, my wife sees both sides of it because she's been with me. I didn't have a car. She drove me to my first fight when I was 18 years old. I've been with my wife for a long time. She's seen both sides, and she's ready for me to be home.
Yeah. Who was the first to know about the retirement? Was it them?
My wife. My wife.
Yeah. She keeps all your secrets.
Yeah, my wife for sure.
Yeah.
Because we've always, even before the last fight, we've always been kind of talking about it, like, how much more? How much are you going to keep giving?
Well, there was a recent well-known fighter who left on his shield, and it didn't feel so good to watch. I won't say his name. Shout out to him, but didn't feel so great watching him in the ring, not at his best as a retirement fight. And again, like you said, that's not how you want to go. But the question is, as a fighter, you put so much into this. It becomes not just a part of your identity; it's your identity. You said you've been fighting all your life. The question is, what do you do with that energy when you don't have something to fight for anymore?
See, and that's I've spoke about this situation in other sit-down interviews. Like, I have to be at war with something. I have to have something, a challenge in front of me, or I'm self-destructive. If I'm not
idle hands.
Yeah.
So what do you have something in mind yet? Like,
I have my foundation that keeps me pretty busy. I have a few businesses in Lafayette, Louisiana.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah, and being a father now that my daughter's old enough to have her own schedule and being all these different sports, that keeps me busy. But it's still dangerous. I don't know what's going to fill that void post-fighting, because nothing's ever going to be that feeling of preparing to be the best you can for 25 minutes, the pressure of all that. I don't know. It's like...
You won't know till you get there too, right?
Yeah.
And you got to kind of level that out.
Yeah, I got to cross that bridge.
So now, I don't want to look past the fight, of course. You never want to do that. But that boy's going to come. He's going to grow up.
December.
Do we put gloves on him?
See, that's my mindset is like, I don't want him. I did it so he doesn't have to. I didn't. The position I was in, my family's well-being was built off of fighting. He doesn't have to. I did it. He doesn't have to. And I don't, this is not it's cool. It looks glamorous. People know your name. You might make some big paydays, but this is a rough life to live, If it's really in his heart and he's like really chasing it, man, I would support him no matter what, but I would rather him go to school, go to college, get a degree, find something you love. This is a lot, man.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
It's definitely a lot. It asks a lot of you. And like you said, it's the people that support you as well ask a lot of that too. So
Yeah.
it'd be tough to put that burden on him before he even knows what he's
Yeah.
getting into, right? And definitely know how to fight. I don't doubt that.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
going
I'll
back,
teach him everything I know, but I don't want him to go out there and fight and compete.
going back to Louisiana, there's been a lot of dope moments in the past few years, and one of the things that everybody wanted to see when you think about Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? It's like we know your entrances, we know the Super Bowl just happened and Lil Wayne got snubbed. What a fire moment if you could get something like that, right? Like something like that Hot Boys reunion or a Lil Wayne come. Like what are you planning? Because this has to be like one of the biggest moments in UFC history to get you to go home, to have that walkout. Is it going to be different? Is it? You don't have to ruin the plans to me, but is it going to be something different?
Look, we put it. I did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and we put it out there. We started talking. Well, my debut fight in the UFC, I walked out to Wayne. That was the only time, and it was my first fight in the UFC. I walked out to Wayne. So my last fight would be nice to walk out with Wayne. So we put that out there in that atmosphere, and we've been speaking about it. Man, it could happen.
Yeah,
it could happen. I don't want to say too much, but walking out with Lil Wayne in New Orleans, that would be a special moment.
Fire.
Especially growing up, listening to his music, being from Louisiana, that would be crazy.
You got a song in mind?
So my debut in the UFC, I walked out to Drop the World. But since then, I've gone through a couple different songs over the years. But since like my staple song now is "The Boss" by James Brown.
Okay, come on.
So paying the cost to be the boss. So if Wayne can do something to that, that would be crazy. We'll see. I don't want to
pick up the phone, Weezy. Let's get it popping.
That would be fire. Were you let down a little bit when the Super Bowl was out there and Wayne wasn't out there performing?
I would have loved to see Wayne in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. That would have been incredible. As a lifelong fan, for the state, for the city, it would have been awesome, man. But
this kind of layup for you. Yeah, that's kind of a layup. Yeah, that would be sick. You know, it's one of those big things. We know that there's a lot of artists out there that you got love for. You listen to real hip hop. Shout out to my guy Fred Money, who actually made this happen. We've been the Dustin Poirier interview has been in the works for a long time when it came to Fred, even before we were even a poppin' franchise. You know what I mean? Where he's like, yo, you got to get my boy Dustin up there. And I'm like, you know Dustin? We could definitely make that happen. He's like, yo, one day we'll make it happen for sure. Yeah. So shout out to Fred for making it happen. Also, Trae The Truth, who you guys seem to have a genuine bond as well. What is it about growing up in Louisiana that gave you this taste in music? Because you got some pretty fly music. Even out here, I see you jamming out over here.
You got some serious tunes.
I'm not really sure. You know, I grew up on Cash Money and No Limit, of course, being from Louisiana, but also being that close to Houston. Like, Houston music had a huge impact on where I came from, that area. So Trae, Zero, just that almost, I don't know if you want to say underground, but like local Southside music was just always something I gravitated towards, man. Yeah. Always.
Underground.
Yeah, those are the jams.
UGK.
And shout out to Trae The Truth too. He's been out in St. Louis doing a lot of community work.
He's always doing incredible things for the city of Houston, for other cities. Like, he's out in St. Louis. He helped me out with my foundation one year. He came and helped hand out backpacks filled with school supplies. With the Good Fight Foundation for the kids. And probably for the past 3-4 years, every Trae Day weekend, the Good Fight Foundation makes a donation so he can do everything. He's doing incredible things, man. And I'm just happy to see people who are in his position use their platform for something like that, man. We need more good in the world. Yeah. So much crazy. You can turn on the news. You can look at your Twitter feed. So much crazy stuff's happening all the time. It's just good to see little bursts of, like, brightness.
Yeah, get back a little bit, you know? And what's cool is he's expanded not just in his home state. You know, he's in St. Louis right now for people out there and just trying to help as much as he can. But for your foundation, The Good Fight, what sparked that? What was the inspiration behind that?
Actually, the whole thing started, my daughter was just born. I was in the process of moving from South Florida back to Louisiana because I wanted to raise my daughter around family, and I had I had a house here in Boca. I had a bunch of stuff in boxes. Me and my wife were packing. We're getting ready to move. I had a U-Haul in the driveway. and I read a news headline that a police officer lost his life in the line of duty right by the high school me and my wife went to, and he left behind a wife and kids.
Wow.
And as I was reading it, we were packing, and I was like, you know what? What about if I go on eBay because I had everything that I've ever fought in my whole career, and we were packing these boxes filled with like gloves, fight shorts,
wraps,
and I was
everything.
like, and it's in my hand. As I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, you know what? What if we go to eBay and try to sell some of this and donate it to his family?
Yeah.
And that's what sparked it. And then since then, man, it's grown organically. We at first we did a bunch of stuff, just selling stuff on eBay from fight worn memorabilia to gloves, whatever,
fundraising,
and donated to food banks, donated to families. And then in 2018, I was getting ready for a fight. Me and my wife were sitting back, like, what can we link this fight to for the we didn't have a foundation. What can we link this fight to for a donation?
right?
So I said, yeah, I'll announce it. I'm going to auction off everything I wear in this fight, and we can do something with it. And that's when the idea came. Well, let's, instead of me and my wife Jolie, instead of us donating it, let's give it its own name, call it the Good Fight, and where maybe other people can get behind it, donate stuff that they wear to fights, and see if it can grow organically and it not be in my name. Not Dustin does this, but the foundation does this. That way more people can get involved. And that's when 2018 is when we started the foundation. And then, man, from then on, we've just been doing as much as we can. I'm very proud of the foundation. We did it not knowing anything about charity work. It was just like,
let's do it.
Yeah, it just happened naturally.
Yeah.
What feels better, going out there in the ring and doing that, or being able to change?
It's a different feeling. Like to give an example, to see the kids' faces light up, to see Trae handing them a backpack when they're in their mom's or dad's car, picking up school supplies for the year, to families who might not, no kid deserves to go to the school year without the tools that they need. Without pens, without pencils, without backpacks, and some families money's crazy right now. Some families are in a crunch. So a kid should have everything they need to learn. These are our next presidents, these are our next doctors. This is our future. The youth is our future. So seeing them smile, it's a different feel good, but it's incredible. Yeah. And to be in the position, like I said about Trae, to be in the position where I know people are listening to what I say in these press conferences and using that platform to not just sell the fight, but use that to
good.
Yeah, because me and my family are going to benefit from this fight. Let's stack up as much as I can on my back and see how much we can benefit everybody from what I'm about to do. Because I'm going to make this walk and fight somebody regardless. Let's try to make as many people smile as possible.
Hell yeah.
That's what it's really all about.
I remember I was in therapy, and my therapist was telling me that her and her husband, they do a drive like once a year, right? And the main thing behind it is the child learning from it and the benefit it has to their children. You know what I'm saying? So like for your 8-year-old daughter to see this year in and year out, she like naturally becomes that.
Exactly. Naturally, she's already, you have children?
Yeah, 2 children.
How old are they?
3 and 1.
3 and 1.
They're just babies right now.
Right. Yeah. When they turn like 6, 7, 8, they kind of grow out of those beginning toys and Barbie dolls. They get into different stuff. And just like you said, it rubbing off on her, not too long ago, she was like, you know what, we were maybe changing her room around. Like, she's getting older, so things change. They go through different fads of kids' toys and stuff like that. And she was like, let's donate all this stuff I don't play with anymore. She said it.
Wow.
So to see that rub off on her is incredible, man. Makes you proud as a father.
Hell yeah.
And it's beautiful.
That seed has been planted.
Yeah, for sure.
They're already doing good work.
Yeah, and to see her naturally thinking about it, like somebody could benefit from this.
It's like, okay.
Leave it a better place than you found it. If everybody had that mindset, man, the world would be great.
You're out here in Boca. Being from Louisiana, a lot of people, I always try to tell people, try to get away from home, but you got everything in the world that you could ever want now, I would imagine, right? What is like, obviously we're talking about the foundation and Kato's bringing up like, what's next, but if you had the opportunity to do it one way, like have your another business or whatever it is, what do you plan on doing right now? Like what's your goal?
Stay busy, impact lives with the foundation.
All right, guys, time. Put this back.
Keep money coming into my household post-fighting with other ventures I have. You know, I have a couple businesses in Lafayette, Louisiana. I have a hot sauce. I have a bourbon.
Poirier's Louisiana.
Yeah.
Rare
I should have brought some hot sauce for you guys.
Absolutely.
Damn, I totally forgot. And I have some too. They just sent me a bunch to hand out. I have a wine shop back home. I have a big office building I'm a partner in. Just keep doing that. Keep doing business stuff, taking opportunities. You know, putting myself around the right circles where people are successful in the areas that I've, you know, learning. Just staying a student. I go from being a student and fighting for 20 years to a student in something else. Just progressing, man. Learning, asking questions, putting myself in circles that they talk about growth and talk about, you know, good things. Just being around good people and growing, man. That's all I want to do. And I just want to keep building that for my family, my daughter, my future son, my wife. And for myself, my mind, just to stay busy. I need that. Yeah. I need that.
You weren't joking when you said businesses.
Yeah. I have commercial properties and stuff like that.
That stuff is good. That's gonna keep you busy, man. That's definitely gonna keep you busy. Are you planning on, you know, coaching any of the younger guys, or staying close enough where you can still smell a glove, or you know?
I get asked that question a lot, and that's not like a passion of mine. It's like I love helping fighters who are already established, that we speak the same language and they have fights coming up. If I can give them a piece of something that I learned over the 20 years of fighting, I love to do that. And I still do work with a lot of guys, corner some guys, but like starting a blank slate, teaching a kid how to shrink down a mat and learn jiu-jitsu, how to step and throw a jab. Like, that's not like a passion of mine right now. Things change, but like opening a gym and teaching people how to fight is not a big thing. But like I said, talking to guys and helping guys who are already established, if I can add a little bit here and there, I do enjoy that. You know?
Right. I think fresh off the retirement, it's probably not that exciting, but as you get older, you'll be like, man, you know what? It'd be cool for me to just hang out around the guys and see.
Just walking into gyms and the smell and the sounds of the bell going off and hearing people grunt, hitting the bags. And you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to be too far away from that. Right. I'm always going to be around the gym and part of the sport somehow.
It's in your blood now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's dope watching it all happen, right? Like coming here, we're just thinking about doing an interview, but it became so much more real looking at, you know, there's a documentary. There's, you know, just you sitting here training for that final run. You're going to hear so many things from, you know, people that are close to you on how they feel about your retirement that you probably don't even know yet, because they're going to have that moment in front of a camera and be like, oh, wow, I can't believe you asked that question. Right. You know, so all those moments coming together.
And I'm thankful to have Michael Tucker and his wife come back out. They flew in from Germany to start filming this documentary. Oh, okay. I had a documentary come out in 2010, 2011 called Fightville, and it showed some of my beginning fighting, and it followed me till I got to the UFC. So they kind of have a little bit of the beginning, and now they're going to have the end. So, man, it's just it's just incredible to have that for my daughter and my son, my family, for fans. They can see the beginning and the end of a career. Not too many people have that. Yeah. You know, and doing it with the same team, Pepper and Bones, the same company who put out Fightville. Yeah. You know, if you haven't seen Fightville, check it out. I think Netflix might have picked it up first back in the day. Then Showtime picked it up. Now you can maybe get it on Amazon. Fightville. It shows a little bit of my beginnings of fighting in Louisiana.
I told a couple of my buddies that we had the opportunity to get an interview with you before the fight and everything, and they're like, man, I've been watching him since NEC in Fightville. They're like, man, ever since I watched that documentary did numbers, and having them come back to do it again, it's like you're closing a lot of full circle moments.
Right, and with the same group of people.
Same group of people doing it in Louisiana. If we can get Weezy on there. If we can get Wayne to walk out. Man, you're just closing so many circles and then starting so many new ones. That's got to be.
If you would have told me as a kid, like all of this stuff, even before the documentary started filming, like all this would happen and I would have all this to look back on one day, I wouldn't believe, you know, it's crazy. I'm grateful. The ups and downs, the whole journey, man, it's just been incredible. And if I can go back in time, I would do it again. You know, that's how much I love what I do. What you did,
Now these jeans I'm wearing, right? These are some Godspeed jeans.
Godspeed? Is that Jada's? Is that Jada? I seen Jadakiss wearing some Godspeed.
Now he probably wears Godspeed, it's not his brand. But what does Godspeed mean to you? Because I see that you post that a lot.
Blessings on the journey. That's what it is. Blessings on the journey.
You got like you got crazy personality, style. Like you really are one of the fighters that you can watch inside of the ring and outside of the ring. You know what I mean? You really got it all. Could we ever see you announcing? You know, being an analyst for the fight?
So I have been working for the past couple of years with ESPN, doing desk analyst work, and that's something I really enjoy. And I think post-fighting, if I can do that, I will stay connected to the sport.
Yeah.
You know, I have a built-in fan base with fans who grew up watching me fight over the years. And I feel like there's not a thing when it comes to mixed martial arts that I wouldn't be able to sit in front of a camera and talk about.
Break down.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I do.
Definitely know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because you want the electrifying personalities for the one, you know, you want for them to be talking about it. You
Right.
don't want it, sometimes it gets a little boring and dry. You want, you know what I mean? You want somebody to be like, yeah, you know what, if I was in that ring, I'd tell you
Especially
that.
somebody who knows I know what's going on, you know.
Uh-huh.
For the most part, I can talk about anything that's happening in a fight, especially a mixed martial arts fight. Working with them, I do feel good. And what's crazy about working for ESPN, the thing I do with the desk analyst work is live. So I get butterflies, you know, before the fights start, I'm nervous.
That's good for you though, man.
Yeah,
Getting that
you have to be on your
excitement
toes because you can't, there's no like premeditated stuff because when you're on live TV, the
no second take.
No, you don't get to, you're live.
Yeah,
You're
there's
live.
nothing
So you
you
have
can
to
do.
be on point, just like on fight night, so that I want to continue to do it. So hopefully ESPN keeps bringing it back.
Yeah, we used to do live podcasts, and then it just got a little too hectic. We had Brittany Renner twerking on Charleston White, you know, and it was just like
chaos.
all right, you know what I mean? I'm in the chair, we're viral during the interview. And it's like Brittany Renner twerking on Charleston White, you know what I mean? So like we learned it's probably better to do that off air in case of any
You might
of
have
that
to cut some
situation.
stuff out.
Yeah, but it's too late once that happens.
I like the pressure though. I like
Yeah.
the pressure of not stumbling over your words live on TV. You have to be. Look, I'm full of caffeine. I'm drinking about 3-4 coffees. I'm ready. I'm ready. I like that feeling.
You guy had me here hitting the speed bag and learning how to hit it, right? And I got that competitive nature where I'm like, damn, like I'm starting to sweat. I keep trying to hit the bag. You also got obviously an incredible competitive nature. I'd imagine that getting into that booth and speaking like that just, it's like something new for you.
For sure, something new. And the prep, you know, like reading about each fighter on the main card's background and their last couple fights and where they're at in their career, or just getting stuff to talk about live on air. I enjoy that. Like that's like studying fight tape as for an opponent that I have coming up. I study their tape. I study their opponent's tape. I just like that. I like to be working.
Now you got that moment that everybody gets to. You can think about people like Jordan and Brett Favre and Tom Brady, right? And I'm sure you know where I'm going at with all these names. They sit there and they plan out their retirement and it looks like it's coming, and all of a sudden there's that one thing that'll draw them back. If there was one thing that could pull you out of retirement, what would it be?
It's tough to say right now, though, because I'm not even retired yet.
That's weird.
Title fight, probably.
Yeah.
You know, getting a chance to be the undisputed world champion. Maybe. I'll have to see. I'd have to see where I'm at, like mentally and how I feel. But I've always said, like, when I do retire, I'm never going to pick the gloves back up. I'm not going to be one of those guys that comes back and tries to get another paycheck. But I still feel good. Yeah. That's the thing.
There you go. That's why I was saying it out there when you were punching. You hungry? You can see it. You know what I mean? You could feel that while you're training and stuff like that. It's not. It doesn't look like it's over, but again, it didn't look like it was over for Khabib. Right, when he went out, and he went out on top.
He went out on top.
Yeah. And it's
for George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
We went out on top, came back, got another belt,
Yeah.
Fighting's crazy, life is crazy, but I don't do anything half-hearted or one foot in, one foot out. Like it would take something huge for me to come back. When I retire, I'm retired.
And what's his name? Mike, right?
Dyer.
Yeah, and he was talking about the kids, right, and what it's like. And he said, the one thing for the moms, it's tough. Our nipples don't work. It's super true.
Well said.
And now,
well said.
And when you think about it, your baby boy's about to be born in just a few months.
December. And my wife's 3 months pregnant right now.
And when he's out there, there's going to be the crying. There's going to be the tough days in the household. Like now, daddy's home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Daddy need to go take care of that.
That's a full-time job right there. That's a full-time job right there.
Were you able to be that present around? Like obviously you're sitting there, you're saying you're watching a fight when she's a couple hours old. Were you able to be as present as you wanted to be for your daughter's life? And do you plan to make that up for your sons?
I was present in the moment, but I was also traveling a lot and doing training camps myself. So my focus was definitely to be the best father I can be. But I also had huge things that I had to get done outside of being a father by providing for my family and getting ready for these fights, all the interviews, all the traveling, all the, just a lot of stuff. This time around, I'm going to be home a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be, that cloud of a fight coming up at a certain date isn't going to be over my head, in the back of my thoughts. Being at home, being with my family, that's all I'm going to be focused on. So it's going to be different. It's going to be different because I'm a different person than I was when my daughter was born.
Yeah.
I'm at a different stage in my life. So, but I was present then. I was just on the road a lot, man. I was just chasing dreams still.
Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Like, is this training camp feel different for you?
I thought before I flew out here, I thought it was going to feel different. I thought I was going to be stressed out and, thinking about this is the last time I'm ever going to feel this. But as I'm going through it, I'm here a couple weeks now. It's like, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
I've been here before.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Aside from your wife, do you talk to anyone going through this? Because this is a huge moment of your life.
Other fighters, my coaches sometimes here and there. But my wife's my best friend. I mostly talk about it with her. I have friends at home who are business partners. We're pretty close. If something's going on between my ears, I might talk to them about it and stuff like that.
Any other retired fighters like DC give you any words or anything like, hey man?
Oh yeah, he did. He actually called me when they announced the fight. I was in Louisiana. He was in California. That's where.
Good guy, man.
He was telling me, hey man, I don't like when fighters announce their retirement before the fight. He said, because they go out there half-hearted. I was like, bro, if you've ever seen me fight, that's not me, bro. If I say I'm gonna fight, even though if I said before or after the fight, like if I commit to a fight, I'm giving it my all. I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there 50%. Like I'm going in there to win this fight and go out the best way I can with another win.
No other way. And then again, no 2 losses in back-to-back. So
I never lost 2 fights in a row, 53 fights.
So we gonna finish that.
Jake Paul's out there, and Jake Paul's making a lot of money doing this combat sports stuff, right? And what if he was just like, hey man, let's go out, let's do an exhibition?
I don't know. Respect to everything he's built. He's really out there training hard, fighting hard. Going against the grain and doing it his way. I respect the business part of what he's doing and the fighting part. I mean, it's not easy what he's doing, but I've been around Jake a couple times. He's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
By a good bit, Yeah. And like I said, when I retire, I want to retire. I don't want to come back for a sideshow payday type of fight. So I don't think so, man.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on seeing Tyson go back out there and do that?
I thought it was a great business plan. I mean, it did numbers. Everybody made money. But being a fighter myself, it was like, and watching Mike Tyson back in the day, it's like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I was on a plane watching it, and it just kind of like, it was painful. Like, it was just like,
yeah. You've seen a shell of himself.
Yeah.
And
you see him like biting his glove, and it's just like, what possible damage could
he
he
was,
do?
what was he, 59, 58?
58,
when they
58,
fought, I just didn't want to see him get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't play this, This can be very serious.
I think everybody was watching it with that intent, like kind of like, don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get hit with that back. Don't get hit with a big shot, especially a guy who's fought his whole life and has taken so many hits, and like you just don't want to see anything bad happen.
Toughest fighter you faced?
Toughest? At this level, man, they're all so tough.
And he's fought a lot of tough guys.
Yeah. Right away when you ask that question, what comes to mind is me and Gaethje. Our first fight was a war, and me and Dan Hooker during COVID. That was a war. If you've never seen the Dan Hooker fight, go watch that one, man. That was a battle. Those guys are tough, but like I said, man, they're all tough.
You mentioned a lot about, this is something that we obviously speak to a lot of boxers, right? Talking to Shakur Stevenson, Shakur was talking to me about, I'm trying to walk out with my mind. You know what I mean? Like my grandfather taught me, hit and don't get hit, hit and don't get hit. It's almost like impossible for you guys because you guys can grapple, get on the ground, you know what I mean? Everything. When you talk about keeping your mental there, what fighters do you know that are battling that you've had that opportunity to maybe talk to about, saying, hey, just be careful out there?
There's a few, man, but I would never say names.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would never say names. like I said a few times in this interview, this isn't good for you. That's the name of the game. We're trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
You know, this is a hurt business. Do your research. Try to take care of your brain, take care of your health, eat the right food. You know, do everything you can to have longevity in the sport and post fighting. But yeah, I would never say a name of somebody who I thought took too many shots.
What's something you can say the fight game taught you? Let me say, how do I say this? Outside of fighting, what's something you can say you would want people to take away from the fight game?
You have to learn how to depend on yourself. Like,
it's only 2 men in that ring.
Exactly. And you can have the biggest team. You can have 1,000 people with you in training camp. You can have all the yes men you want. But when you make that walk, when the bell rings, it's just you. And you have to be able to trust yourself. You know, fighting has taught me that I can trust myself. Like when things get bad, when I have to dig down, nobody's throwing a life raft.
Yeah, like that's one thing we talk about with some of the boxers we've had on the show. You know, you train, you might have 15 guys and 50 other intervals of sparring trainers and partners and stuff like that, but when you go in there, it's just you.
Yeah.
They stop at that gate, you know? So
Right.
you got to be able to go in there and hold it down for yourself. It's not just about brawns. You got to have brains, too.
You have to. It's a thinking man's game. You know, being tough will only get you so far, and it'll get you hurt. You have to think. You have to be a student.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's what it's taught me I can count on myself and rely on myself to show up when I really need it.
A lot of people credit you for not just being a smart or a tough fighter, but a smart and tough fighter.
You have to be.
You know, because like you said, we've seen it a million times. There's a lot of brawlers, but later on in their career, they pay that price.
Yeah, and it's been a balancing act my whole career, not being that, because I have that in me.
Yeah.
When I'm in those wars, like I want to keep walking forward and let's bleed, let's get crazy, you know. And that's been a gift because I put a lot of guys away, and it's been a curse because I've got myself hurt in fights against guys that wouldn't have landed that shot if I wasn't being that dog. So you just gotta learn how to balance it over your career, you know, how to tame it.
Yeah.
There's times to let it out, but a lot of times it'll get you hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
When we talk about all these great fighters, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is when you got your top 10, who's higher in that list for you? John Bones Jones or Cormier?
Jones. All respect to Daniel, he's done amazing things, but Jones, you can't. Jones.
Aside from yourself, who's your top? Who's your Mount Rushmore? Your top 4?
Top 4? Jones, Khabib, St. Pierre, and Anderson Silva in his prime, probably.
Gangsta Silva was a spider.
But I need more of a mountain man because BJ Penn in his prime was Fedor Emelianenko.
You can go as many as you want. I try to make it easy.
There's so many legends out there that did. When they were in their prime, man, it was something special.
Yeah. There's been a lot of amazing fighters, and it's again, I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with a legend like yourself at the end of his run. You know what I mean? Like, this is monumental. I feel special just being in the building, you know, and just seeing like that when the documentary is going on, and I'm like, damn, this is different, super dope.
Really real.
And just a couple more questions I got for you. It's just what's the first thing that's going on? Like right when this fight is over, what's first, man?
I booked the Airbnb in New Orleans. I booked it for an extra day. So the fight ends Saturday night. I'm going to spend all day Sunday, summertime in Louisiana. Got a pool, jacuzzi at this Airbnb. My family's going to stay. My coaches are staying an extra day. We're just going to kick it, man, by the pool. I was thinking about barbecuing, but sometimes these fights I get into, I can't walk. I'm all busted up. So I don't want to. I'm probably going to cater the house.
Yeah, do that.
And just sit back and reflect and spend time with the people I love and the people that help me get to where I'm at, and just really be in the moment. I'm gonna put my phone away and just be in the presence of my family, my friends, because this, hopefully not, but this rat pack of guys that we've been traveling the world fighting people might be the last time we're all together in this kind of scenario. I'll come back to Florida to help guys, and I'll see them here and there, but all together for this purpose. Like, this is something I'm going to look back on and miss. The camaraderie with these coaches and guys that I train with, and my training partners are going to be out there. I got a buddy fighting this weekend in Vegas. He's flying back to Poland to see his family, and then he's flying back to my fight because he wants to watch me fight. So just having those, just being around those guys and talking by a pool after my last fight, I'm just that's what's happening.
I think putting the phone away after a fight.
I'm putting the phone away. I'm going outside, getting to the sun. We're gonna eat some food, laugh.
Yeah, soak it all in, man.
Yeah,
enjoy it.
And I'm gonna stay sober through the whole thing, man. Today I'm 50 days sober.
Let's go.
50 days sober?
50 days sober, no weed, no alcohol.
Let's go.
Today.
Now this guy, he tends to think he's like a badass, right? Black belt, jiu-jitsu.
I mean, that's not easy to get, bro.
Right? What are you weighing?
225.
225?
Yeah, walk around.
You think he could fuck with you?
And jiu-jitsu, he's a black belt. Yeah, probably.
But I don't know if you whoop his ass, because he was telling me bro, you put me in the ring with him, I'm taking him out. That's what he was telling me prior.
I think you would have trouble taking me down.
I gotta chase him a little bit too, bro. That's the
I'm
thing.
fucking with him. I'm fucking with him.
He'll tie me
He's
to
over there like, fuck you. I can see it.
I can see him popping me a few times.
The big question we like to ask people, and I never found a more perfect moment for this, because this is the final round. Life is grand, right? It's huge. If I said like 1 to 10, where you at in life, it wouldn't make sense. Out of a 1 through 100, where do you feel like you're at in the scale of life?
As in what am I grading? Just
where do you like? There's this big ass journey we're on. This is the end of life, and this is the beginning. Where are you at in that?
Oh, like
all around,
like a timeline of life.
Yep.
Let me see. I got to be close to halfway there.
Halfway. So
a percentage out of 100. Let me give you 45%.
That's a good percentage. So if it's just 45, what does 100 look like for you?
Live to see my kids have kids. Live to see my kids prosper from the sacrifices I made in the ring, in the business world, and at the end of that 100 is to have a relationship where my kids want to come back home to spend time with me and their mother, and bring their kids to their grandparents' house, and they want to be around us. That's success to me.
Hell yeah, that's beautifully written. How does this fight? The fight happens. What day is the fight?
July 19th.
July 19th. What's gonna happen? What's your prediction for the fight?
I've never been really a method like picking. I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. I don't know if it's gonna be gritty and bloody or it's gonna be smooth and clean. But either way, I'm gonna win.
And walking out the baddest motherfucker in the world.
Walking out with the baddest motherfucker in the world. Belt. Balancing out my living room. I got one UFC belt on this side. I need that one on this side to balance out the room.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you again, Dustin. I wish you the best of luck on not only this fight, but your future. And, hopefully the kids are stopping over with their grandkids at the crib.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That time is coming, my boy.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
This is the Danza Project. It's another one of them episodes. This one is a classic. Dustin Poirier, Danza Project, Kato. Let's get it. Peace.
Fire.
My guy.
Fire.